Hello and welcome back to Tetra Football, and today this is our match reaction to Morocco versus Croatia. Ryan?
Ryan is my name, and it was a shocking game because it was quite boring, to be honest. I'm going to level with you guys. I was on my phone most of the game, watching TikToks. That was more entertaining. There was a few sparks of magic, but nothing too much for me, to be honest.
In all honesty, I do not blame him for being on his phone. He is correct. Very boring game, although my shock prediction for this game was Morocco to beat Croatia 2-1. Unfortunately, no goals at all. Neither team managed to score. I think the keepers both made some decent saves, but there was no real chances in that game. Didn't see too much from Modric, and I think Morocco's team, they did dig out and win the point in the end. The first half, Croatia played a lot of possession ball, but the second half, Morocco managed to get themselves on the ball a bit more, get forward a bit more. Having a couple dangerous counter-attacks, was unable to finish them. The same could be said with Croatia and their attacks down the other end as well. It was just more sloppy going forward. I think the midfield and defence of both teams was pretty good, but a lot of sloppiness in the final third for both teams.
One thing I do want to, two things actually I want to point out that the commentator said. One, first being Ziyech for Morocco, he did look quite missing, to be honest. Didn't see much of him. He's normally the main man for Morocco. One you think of that is a Moroccan player apart from Hakimi. And the second is that Croatia, progressing in the tournament, they start to warm up, start to play better. But honestly, if that's a reflection of how both teams are going to play in this World Cup and how the other teams with the other two 0-0 draws how they've been, is not going to be a very good World Cup. It's going to be quite boring. Yeah. It's actually going to be quite sad because so much football in such a short amount of time. Imagine if we were having like 2-1, 3-2, big results, tight games. Imagine how exciting.
Just a couple goals would be nice.
How exciting. I mean, the England-Iran, whilst England were scoring a lot of goals, I still wouldn't say that was really exciting because you're just banging in goals against some players that don't really play full-time competitive football. It's just a bit boring, but if we see a 3-2 or a 2-1, I think that could be something to really spark and ignite this tournament and set it on fire.
Well, I think, just to give you context of how boring that game was, arguably the biggest highlight for me on that game was the first half. There was only 2 minutes added time.
Cool.
Every single other half of this World Cup has had a minimum of 4 minutes added on, which is ridiculous. I mean, England had 14 and 10, which was mental. And for this game to only have 2 minutes after the first half, it shocked me really. I was expecting a 4 or 5 minutes because that just seems to be the normal amount. However, 2 minutes for this one, it was sort of back to what you expect from a normal game. So obviously there wasn't many stoppages for this one. Croatia basically just passing the ball around, keeping it on the pitch. But that was arguably the biggest shock from that game. Anyway, that is the end of this review for Croatia versus Morocco. We're going to try and do these for most of the games, if not all. And some of them will be grouped together, some will be separate like this. Tell us how you'd prefer to see it. But remember to like, comment and subscribe. And we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.